Thank you for joining us. We are the masterminds from the Reset for Success group, and we want to thank you for joining us for this discussion about networking, masterminding, and accountability, and how you can use these tools to help you get where you are trying to go. But before we get started talking, I want to introduce you to the masterminds. Up first is Jody.
Oh, thank you. First of all, hi, ladies. Nice to see you this week.
Good to see you.
Yeah, and hello, everybody that's joining us live. Yeah, hey, Gabby. Everybody that's joining us live or anybody that'll be watching the replay, we appreciate you joining us. And our goal is always to uplift you and energize and empower you with our training program. So I am Jody Santangelo Ash, and I'm known as the Law of Attraction How-To Coach because I teach you how to apply law of attraction in different areas in your life so that you get more positive results, whether it be a more fulfilling career, ideal relationships at home or at work, more money in abundance. Well, actually, you can apply the deliberate attraction formula to all areas of your life. And if you want more information or if I can help you with law of attraction, please reach out. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Gabby,
Hello,
you're up
Jody.
next.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for being here. It's good to be with you, ladies, my dearest, over 2 years, like almost 3 years now, mastermind team. And I am Gabby Abdelgadir, known as the Gabby Declutter Queen. I help people declutter their home, their office, their mind, their relationship, and their time by using the power of Feng Shui and by the Lin method. If anybody needs to know more about this subject, get in touch with me. I am Declutter Queen, Gabby Declutter Queen, or www.totaldeclutter.com. And please ask your questions and join us live. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheryl, you're up next.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Hello. So my name is Cheryl, and I am your Chief Experience Officer. So if you're an entrepreneur and you are scrambling, searching for that next customer, trying to figure out where your pipelines are, I help you look at your existing customer because that's where your pipeline should be. And it's about creating customers that create customers. So if you're looking to enhance your referrals, increase your sales, then you definitely want to connect with me. And if you are looking to be more confident and just looking to stand up boldly and affirm your truth, I'm also the founder of the movement Affirm Your Truth, where you are to be unapologetically bold, walk within your fears, and then actually stand up and believe it, speak it, and go get it. So it is time. And I'm excited to be here as I am with you guys all the time, every month.
Amen. Love it. Love it. And I am Whitney Wiley with Shifting into Action. And my job is to help you to love your work, do the work you love. I am an organizational leadership and employee engagement strategist, helping organizations and individual clients to connect with the work that they're doing, creating environments and workplaces that people love to work in. And so today we're going to be talking about some things that are very important for how we navigate in our businesses and in our lives. Again, networking, masterminding, and accountability. And there is a role for each of them in your life. You can, I use all three, as I know my mastermind partners here do. There's some differences between them. So we'll talk about the differences, how we use them, what benefit they have to your life, how you can use them. And then if you need some help in any of these areas, you can reach out to us, and we are here to help you. So I just want to lay a little bit of a foundation, and then we will get started with the conversation. So networking, as at least I'm going to be defining it, is the process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. So when you're networking, you are exchanging information, you're being providing something to someone else and they're providing something to you. Mastermind, and we're talking about mastermind groups, not masterminds like criminal masterminds. That's not the mastermind we're talking about. We're talking about mastermind groups, and it's the coordination of effort and knowledge in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. And I believe the first time mastermind groups are mentioned sort of in a secular context is in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but it's a concept that goes back way before that. There is mention of it, not necessarily as a mastermind group, but the concept in spiritual writings, certainly in the Bible, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am amongst you, just saying that the power of multiple people focused on moving something in the same direction, it increases your ability to figure things out, problem solve, and move the ball forward. And then accountability partners or coaches to help you in terms of helping you keep a commitment or holding you accountable. So that's the context in which we'll be talking. And Gabby mentioned that we have been a mastermind group for over 2 years. I was the last to join this group, I believe right before the holidays 2 years ago, so in the fall. And you guys had been together as a mastermind group before that. So let's start with masterminds. Even though it's called networking, mastermind, and accountability, let's start with masterminds. And let's share a little bit about your general thoughts about masterminding, where you first heard of it, and maybe the first time you were involved in a mastermind group, whether it was this one or some other one. Go for it.
Sure. Okay.
I'll go. Since we're sitting here, I will go before my mic does something crazy. So masterminding, for me, it's like being in a boardroom where you have various individuals of multiple talents, and you bring these folks together, and then their talents now become your talents because you are sharing talent. It's not a territorial. There's nothing territorial. There's nothing hidden. There's no agendas. It is the primary goal is for everybody to utilize the resources that are within the mastermind, which could be, as we all know, it could be creativity. It could be sharing of resources. It could be sharing of information. It gives you extended tentacles into the universe, into whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. When I first came upon masterminding, and it's interesting because it wasn't really called a mastermind group per se with that terminology, and we've all been on teams, right? And so my mastermind was actually a team. We met every single week, and we did, we shared resources, we shared ideas, we brought issues that we're having to the table and opened them up on the table, and was okay to be vulnerable so that you can receive the assistance that you needed. So you didn't walk away going, I should have asked this, but I didn't want them to know I didn't know. And so that's the huge element of masterminding for me, is that you have the ability to be vulnerable, and it's okay. So that's my share on masterminding and how I came involved.
I don't know if she's still talking or not, but I'll go. So Cheryl, that was an interesting analogy about we've all been in teams, and that really makes a lot of sense for me. I first heard about masterminding from the book Think and Grow Rich. I know many of you are fans. Gabby, you studied with him. And so at that time, though, I was working in corporate America, and I guess I really didn't think or see how that could apply to me. until I left corporate America and I started my own business. Well, now it made a lot of sense to me, right, to network with other like-minded people. And so, of course, for the four of us, we came together because we all studied under Jack Canfield, the best-selling author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, right? You probably read the Chicken Soup books. But also Jack went on to write about how he built this multi-billion-dollar brand of chicken soup in a book called Success Principles. We all went out and we were curious about that. We wanted to know more. So we certified with Jack Canfield to allow the four of us to go out and teach the Success Principles, which we do. In a mastermind, though, you don't all have to have that same thing in common. You know, you can be from all different walks of life. And we've all heard the saying two heads are better than one. Well, imagine 4 to 6 people, a permanent group coming together to inspire and encourage and share resources and hold each other accountable. So that's my view of the group, and that's why I've been in it so long. Because boy, I might be having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, but when I chat with these ladies, they just lift me right up. Right? Maybe give you a little kick in the pants, and there we go.
That is true. Gabby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just unmuted myself. So yes, thank you. That was those were great messages. So we've been almost 3 years with Cheryl and Jody, and over 2 years with Whitney. It's been incredible. And the first time I heard about masterminding was from Bob Proctor. May he rest in peace. He passed 2 months ago. I did his 13-month coaching program. And after a month of the coaching program, he put us into groups, masterminding groups. We started at 10. We are now only 3 of us. One is in Chile, one is in US, and I'm in Canada. And it's 12 years now. We talk every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Believe it or not, 12 years. Right after this meeting, I'm on the other call with the other ladies. So it was incredible. That is where I was introduced to the Mastermind Principles that I shared with everybody. And it's incredible. So how does it help? We talk, we share our wins, we share our challenges, and we give one another advice. So like one of us has a challenge at a certain area, the other 3 come up with ideas and help and give valuable feedback. So that is what a mastermind is all about. And then we discuss what we're working on this week and where we need help. And that is what we do. And we end it with gratitude. So I love it. For me, every Monday, 6 p.m. has been my inspiration. I love you, ladies. And I encourage everybody to start their own mastermind group. So that's me. Thank you.
So, I want to say that there are lots of different kinds of masterminds, and different ones have been mentioned here. The group that Gabby has that she meets with after our specific group meets is a little different than our group, right? Each group has its own personality because of the people that are in it. And so it becomes really important to make sure that you find the group that is right and fits for you. And that could take some time. You could start your own group. You could look to join other groups. There are groups that are assembled based on maybe they're entrepreneurs, or maybe you've got a mastermind group for someone, that it is focused on some other purpose. Cheryl mentioned teams. Teams are a way of masterminding, right? But Jody mentioned that it doesn't have to be a team. A team, what distinguishes a team from a group is that the team is all working towards the same goal. In your mastermind, you may be working for different goals, right? Each within whatever area you're working with. And the point is to harness the power the creativity, the thought process of others who have different experiences than you do, who can help you see things in a different light, to help you solve problems. And Gabby explained how our particular group works. And when we share challenges, that the others, not blocked by sometimes our own scotomas, right? Our own blind spots, are able to see things that are not as obvious to us because we are wrapped up in that process. So, the benefits of having a mastermind group is to decrease the chance of failure, right? When you can increase and improve your problem solving ability, it makes it more possible that you are going to succeed. And it challenges you to see things in a different way. Now, another benefit is that it increases your goal achievement. I think all of the ladies here, and you probably have this in your own experience, that when you share your goal with someone else, that the likelihood of you succeeding increases, right? I think 65% chance of achieving your goal when you commit to someone else. It goes up to 95% when you are regularly reporting and being held accountable, which is the point, right? You ask for help, people give you insight, and then they hold you accountable. They help you hold yourself accountable, right? And that increases the chance that you will succeed to 95%. And who wouldn't? That's almost guaranteed. And who wouldn't want that? And so when you think about the process of that we've been in this group constituted here together over the past couple of years, when you think of this process, what is for you sort of the one thing that keeps you coming back? When you think of all of the benefits that are a part of this, what sort of keeps you coming back to being a part of the group? Go, Gabby.
What keeps me...
And you've got a group you've been a part of 12 years, so that's a lot of coming back.
Oh yeah, exactly. That is it. So what keeps me coming back is the motivation that I get from you ladies. And each one of you, when they share their success in any area, that makes me so happy and it gives me a boost. And then I know that if I have any challenge in any area, that I have the three of you to help me out with this. And if I have to do something, I know I can count on to the three of you to keep me accountable to complete what I said I will complete. So you inspire me. That is what keeps me coming back every Monday at 6 p.m. Go, Jody.
For me, it's the accountability, because sometimes when I feel like, you know what, you had a bad week and maybe you just want to give up on the week or give up on your goal. Not that I get that far, but that's why I stay connected, because I just know that, like Whitney said, I'm going to have more success. I'm going to keep on going if I'm part of a group and I'm held accountable. And, I just want to say here really quick, when you think about all the success this group has, I mean, my goodness, if the four of us have only been together 2 years, and what have we done? I mean, you've written books, you have podcasts, you have radio interviews, we've done online courses, we have done speaking events, we give each other resources and invite each other to speak and train at different companies. I mean, it's, when you really think about that, it's amazing the success that we've had, right? I don't even know that we've even talked about all of that.
We have not. And it's wonderful that you brought that up, because it's, as much as it is getting help, and I believe that asking for help is really important. A lot of people don't ask for help, and then they get stuck. They wonder why they're stuck. They don't want to share because they're afraid that people will think that they're not expert, or they're afraid someone will steal their ideas or do their thing. We've not had that as an issue. right? That's not an issue, but we are very supportive. And I think each of us has offered up at different times, different opportunities to be a part of speaking engagement, like you said, speaking engagements, training programs. I'm sure Cheryl will share one of her huge wins that she's got coming up later this year. But these opportunities to get out, to speak, to grow, to train, to be, beta testers and someone to bounce ideas off of, having people in your corner like that becomes extremely important. And it's interesting because I'm a part of a group that has a book launch tomorrow at the time of our recording this, that someone in that group mentioned that they were not getting a lot of support from their family. And someone else said, family's usually the last to come on board to be helpful, family and friends, for whatever reason. And when I joined you guys, I didn't know any of you, right? But I felt immediately like you were my people and that you were supporting what I was doing and interested in what I was doing, offering suggestions. And so it is extremely important that you mention that as part of this process. It's not just, taking, it's giving as well. Cheryl, I saw you talking.
Yeah. Love everything that you all said, because I can, attest to each one. For me, it's interesting because I love to be around folks that always think about next. What's next? What's the next level? Right? What am I going to do now? That question. What am I going to do now? And that gets me going. I mean, that excites me when I get on the call and I hear, Whitney is speaking at a TED event, and Jody is traveling the country and she's talking to women's conferences, and Gabby is being with people like Bob Proctor, and in these groups she has these iconic individuals that are actually sharing with her. And when you have the ability to be surrounded by people that are doing those types of things, you cannot do anything less than achieve your goals, because you got to step up to the plate, right? It allows you, I want to say allows you the opportunity to grow. It allows you the opportunity to really push yourself, because sometimes we can play it really safe and go, you know what? Yeah, I don't have to do that. I'll just stay here in my little circle here, in my little corner, and do what I'm doing. And when I get on the call with you guys, that's not an option, right? It's not an option, because we're all so, I guess you would say, high achievers, right? We are all high achievers in one regard, if it's life, if it's business, whatever it is. And it's not high achieving to the point of we're going to stress ourselves out, we're going to have health issues. It's high achieving that excites you, right? That gets you to go, wait a second, let me try that. Let me just drop my name in the hat. Let me send in this proposal. What can they say? No? Okay. It gives you the option to say, I'm going for it. And let's just see what happens. And I had that opportunity, recently, to reach out to someone that was looking for speakers, and it's in Paris. And I was like, you know what is it going to hurt for me to fill out this form and submit my proposal for my turn? Lo and behold, they wrote back and said, hey, we love for you to come. And so I'm sitting here looking at the email, like, hey, really, they really want me to come to Paris to speak to women, which is, speak to women in leadership. And that is just like the pinnacle of everything that I'm doing right now. That's been like up here, right? And every time I think about it, I still ask that question, like, wow, really? I'm going? And so I stay in touch with her, make sure that they don't rescind. Okay, so I stay in touch and go, hey, how's it going? Just make sure that happens. But I can think of other things I've done prior to that have been because of this group here that has just me say, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens. And it never fails. The universe always reciprocates, and it always works out. Even when it doesn't, I feel it had, because if I didn't try it, then it wouldn't have worked out at all. But when you try something and it doesn't work out, that's not failure, that's learning. And we have to start differentiating wording, right? And using the proper wording so that we can get the most out of what we're trying to accomplish.
And I think that's a really good point, Cheryl, because the other part of accountability partner in general, have an accountability coach, or having your mastermind group act in that role for you, the accountability piece is to sometimes get you not just being supportive, but calling you on your stuff, right? Every now and then we need to be called out, and that's the being held accountable piece. But that applies to our mindset, and it applies to the words that we use. And I can think of more than one time when someone has said something in this group, and I'm a part of several I have several mastermind groups that I'm a part of, but this group and others, where someone will say something and someone else will take the words and shift it, because words matter, right? And the way we are thinking, the way we are speaking has an impact, going to Cheryl's work with Affirm Your Truth, and Jody's work as a law of attraction coach, right? The things that we say, the things that we're thinking, they matter. And if we sometimes get in our feelings and express how we're feeling, someone will say, reframe that, shift that a little bit, right? And it will allow you to have that exact same feeling, but phrase it in a different way that's more productive. And that's one of the things that I find extremely helpful for being a part of a group or having an accountability partner, is because without that piece, sometimes I can end up down the path a little bit before I catch myself. And if you share it with someone else, they will hear it immediately, know it's not congruent with who you are, and then call you on it. Jody,
I think I just wanted to say, Jody, before you go, that is such an important aspect of it, right? Is the ability for somebody to say, hey, wait a second, I thought you said this. Because sometimes, you want to do things in life, tell anybody, and then if it doesn't happen, no harm, because nobody knew about it. And so you don't have to follow through. You start to tell people and they start to ask you about it. Then you either have to fess up and say, well, it didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z, but never because I was just saying something to be saying something.
Yeah.
Right. There should be a reason why it didn't work out. And that's the whole opportunity for your accountability partner or your mastermind group to now move into support. Right. Support, motivated, and to Jody's point, kick you in the butt. And, just say, get out there and just see what happens.
Go for it, Jody.
I think it went I'm not sure what was on the tip of my tongue. Oh, one thing I was going to say is there are mastermind groups that are free. And then some people charge for mastermind groups. So you want to be conscious and aware of that. Our group is free. And when you participate in a free group, it's easy for people to, not show up or slack off. So that's why you want to make sure that you find the right people. And look, we've been together for a really long time. And for those of you who want to know more about how to go about finding other people to form a mastermind group, which would be anywhere, I guess, between 4 and 6 people, and the ideal membership, would y'all say? And if y'all want to know more about that, just reach out. We will be happy to share more information on that.
Good.
That's it.
Did you have a thought to share here, Gabby?
I think we covered everything. And then the thing is like we collaborate and then synergize together. That is the thing. And you said something very important. I think it is Whitney, about choosing your words. I once joined a mastermind group from another Bob Proctor's group, and it didn't last me 3 sessions before I removed myself because a guy yelled at one lady, "Can you speed up, please?" He said to her, like, you can't just talk like that to somebody who is trying to share their challenges. And then I did talk to him on the side, like I called him right after and I spoke to him, but she was slow and I told him this is not the purpose of the mastermind. And then day 3, I just watched everything and I just pulled myself out of it. So it's extremely important you choose the right people to have as a mastermind group, people who are like-minded, people who are compassionate, kind, helpful, supportive. You have to be careful when you choose that. I am so blessed to say that we all 4 of us here, we share the same principles in life, the same principles in setting our goals and overcoming our challenges. So be careful always when you choose your mastermind. Thank you.
Yeah, and the same goes for a coach that you work with. The same goes for a networking group, right? Whitney, I think we're gonna start talking about that.
Yes.
The same goes for any mentors, and so you want to make sure that you choose like-minded people.
I just want to say before we move on, every group doesn't have maybe a set of written rules or principles. I would suggest if you're going to start a group that you work with the members of your group to identify a set of principles to operate around, a set of ground rules about, the situation that you found yourself in, Gabby, that should not happen, right? In a mastermind group. I don't know what the rules were for that group, but being respectful. There are some things that you would think as adults you would just automatically do, but it doesn't always work out that way, right? It is not, you come from different backgrounds and different ideologies. I have no idea what the politics are of you, the other 3 of you, right? We don't talk about that, so it doesn't become a part of what goes on. I do know some things about your personal lives, your family, because that's important. Those are things that are part of what you're expressing your gratitude about every week. So I know about, we start by catching up and seeing how people are doing. So there is room for getting to know people on a personal level, but there are things that you probably third rail things that you should just leave off the table so that when you come together, you can focus on your reason for being together and not get sidetracked by other things. We happen to have a set of principles that I believe come from, and correct me if I'm wrong, but come from Bob Proctor, right? The Mastermind Principles. And we recite them at the beginning of every single session. And it sets the tone. And I won't read it in detail, but the basic premise is that it puts us on the same page, right? And we are giving ourselves over in our meetings to the power of the mastermind, that we are laying ourselves open so that we can take from and give to the energy that's created by the 4 of us coming together. And so you can have that same thing in your mastermind group, whether you start one or you're a part of one. If you're already a part of one, and you don't have that already, reach out. I will share the principles. They're on the internet. You can find them on the internet if you wanted to look them up. It's called Mastermind Principles. So you can look them up, but you could reach out to one of us to get them as well. And so, any final words on Mastermind specifically before we touch on networking?
Yeah, I just want to say, one of the great things about Mastermind is that it brings to the table consistency, because that's huge in any type of success. You want to be consistent in what you're doing. Oftentimes you start things, you stop things, you go on, do things, you stop those, you go on to new things, and then you look back and your trail is filled with unfinished stuff. Whatever those things are, it's filled with those unfinished pieces. And Mastermind, one of the purposes is to provide consistency in meetings, consistency in allowing everyone to share. When you talked about the different orders, it's similar to Robert's rules, but it gives you that ability to move beyond where you were and move into something far greater and have access to a higher frequency, so that you then elevate your level of thinking. And I guarantee you, if you connect with the right individuals, you will not want to miss a meeting, right? It has to be, and I mean, we've missed meetings because we got other things going on, but it wasn't just, hey, I don't feel like it today. That was never a reason why one of us missed a meeting. It was because we were pursuing some things that we set as goals.
And I will say this, there have been times when I have not wanted to, and I've showed up anyway. So just saying, right? To your point, sometimes you don't feel like it and you do it anyway because it's not just about you. But go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
no, that's absolutely, you're right. It's not just about you. It's about everyone as a whole. And when you start thinking beyond yourself, then you start to see things will manifest in your lives further, because you're not looking to shine, you're looking to serve. And that's, it should actually be on a t-shirt. I want to serve versus shine.
There you go. Serving and shining. There you go. Shining and serving. Yes, Gabby.
Before we move to the next subject, I just want to tell you, I think you ladies know about it. For those who are watching or listening or catching the replay, what accountability partner means. Cheryl and I, we almost finished together the trainer exam. I was working full time, and one evening I messaged her. I told her I have to do this exam today. She was on the phone with me on and off until after midnight. She was up until midnight, after midnight, because I was falling asleep and I could not stop the exam midway. She was calling me. She was on the phone with me late. So I will never forget that. So this is going above and beyond an accountability partner. So Cheryl, I will never forget that. Thank you so much.
I love that story. I had not heard that story before. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. That's awesome. I have an accountability coach, and I will say this, it can manifest itself in different ways, right? Just like mastermind partners take on different, mastermind groups take on different forms, your accountability partner or coach can take on a different form. Of course, I feel like my mastermind group is an accountability partner. Each of you are that to me, my other mastermind groups as well. But I actually have specifically an accountability partner or coach that I touch bases with every single day. So I lay out what my agenda is for the day. And then in the morning, we touch bases for a really short period of time about what I accomplished the day before. It's always very positive. It's less coaching and more a partner that I'm reporting to, but it's someone that every day I'm thinking, this is what I said I was going to do today. I don't want to say I didn't do it, right? So there's this little piece of a little extra push that is about, you said you were going to do this, you've got to do this. And sometimes things don't get done till later in the day than I would like. But that's one of the ways that I use the accountability partner coach relationship, in addition to the mastermind groups, to help keep me on track for things. So the mastermind groups tend to be sort of bigger picture things, and my accountability partner is for my day to day. These are the things that I say I'm going to do today. And then tomorrow he will ask, how did it go yesterday? I will share, these are the things that I did. We don't talk about what I didn't do. It's obvious. If I say this is what I did, it's obvious what I didn't do. And then I get some positive reinforcement, because what do you get from positive reinforcement? What do you get from focusing on your wins? You get dopamine, serotonin, and what's the other one? The third one. That one, you know what it is. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The third piece of that hormone cocktail. So you get that, and you get a rush of adrenaline from getting things done. Getting accepted to speak in Paris, running awesome programs. Jody is talking about her coaching program, her coaching process, but she helps her husband run a whole other business, right? That she is and constantly has fabulous things going on in her life about that. And Gabby too, helping people unclutter their lives physically, mentally, emotionally, right? All of those things help us to have wins in our businesses and in our lives. And those things, again, we get that serotonin, dopamine, and the other one. Endorphins. That's what it is. Endorphins.
Hey, what do you want? It's 7:00 here Eastern time, right?
I don't fault you guys. I know I'm behind the times here.
I couldn't think of it.
It's okay. It's okay. So any final words on accountability, and then we'll wrap up talking a little bit about networking.
Well, of course, accountability, many people who are entrepreneurs or work for themselves, you don't have anybody to hold you accountable, right? And so you have those days when you think, oh, I really don't feel like it. And then you don't get around to it. And one day turns into 2 days, turns into 5 days. And then we got a problem. And even if you do, if you work and you have a boss, your boss holds you accountable to your work at work, but doesn't hold you accountable for your own dreams and goals. And so that's where an accountability partner really comes in. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And then the first thing that I'll add in your accountability partner selection, it should not be a spouse, a friend, somebody that's just really going to let you off the hook, but it should be someone that is going to ask you those questions, someone that's going to really check in with you. So I will add that. Don't make it your spouse.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I would say if you can get someone professional, do that. If not, then find someone who you can trust to hold you accountable. And I think out of Train the Trainer, particularly when you do it in person, the accountability partner piece is sort of built into that process, is to help. And Gabby and Cheryl there for each other as part of that process. So awesome. All right. So let's talk about networking. We'll wrap up about networking. And I want to say this. We've talked a lot in terms of masterminding and accountability. Yes, it's about you, but it's not about you. The same thing applies with networking. One of the things that, and I have this happening a lot, I work with people who are in the midst of job transitions. They're doing work, managing their careers, and then it's time to look for a job, and they want to start networking when they need something. And I'm going to say the time to network is now, always, right? To just stay in touch with people is the way I would suggest you do it, is to Be in touch with people. Let people reach out to others. See what they need. Right? You don't have to spend time with them every week as part of a mastermind group or on a daily basis as an accountability partner, but just occasionally reach out to people without asking for anything, just checking to see how they're doing, so that when you do need something, right, that you don't have people feeling that you're a user or that you're taking advantage of their networks or what they have to offer, but that you have been there for them as well. So that's where I want to start the conversation about networking.
Yeah. Can I? Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Gabby.
Are you done? Yeah. So to add to what you just said, networking is extremely important. And please, people, for heaven's sake, please do not message people only when you have something to sell. I find that extremely annoying. People, they're not on your page, they don't like, they don't comment, they've never asked who you are and what you do, but they're good at putting all these messenger links and this and that. Please support me, by my product and buy this. That is extremely annoying. I have actually blocked a few people because of that, because they never stop. It's about collaboration. First, you have to ask the person, hi, how are you? Nice to talk to you. And what do you do? Get to know people. Create a relationship first before you start selling to them. So don't be annoying, because personally, I will block you right away. I am good at that. Okay, so seriously, thank you.
I don't think I won't be doing that with Gabby. But it's such a good point, Gabby, and you're absolutely right. Don't start by trying to sell people things, asking them for things. It's about a relationship. Get to know someone first. And
Yes.
then when it's time, right? Because you give. What is it? Give, ask. Give, ask. Gary V says jab, jab, what is it? Jab, 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 right hook, right? And the concept is the same as give, ask. So before you ask for things, you should be giving. As Cheryl said, you should be serving. Serve, ask. Serve, ask. Or give, ask. Jody.
So I have a quote and a quick little story to share that sums up what you have been talking about. So here's a quote by a gentleman named Adam Small, and he's the founder of a group of emerging leaders. And he says, networking is the single most powerful marketing tactic to accelerate and sustain success for any individual or organization. And so, that's really, really powerful. And here's a quick little story. And this is told by the founder of BNI. I think his name is Ivan Misner. We've all heard of him.
Yeah.
BNI, I think, stands for Business Networking International, perhaps. Yes.
Yeah.
So he tells a story about at a networking event that he attended, probably in his honor, but by over 900 people. And he started his presentation asking this question: how many of you came here today hoping to do business, maybe even make a sale? Well, the majority of those 900 people raised their hand. Yeah, two hands, probably even their feet too, right? He followed that up with a question with, and how many here came hoping to buy something today? Not a single hand went up. So isn't that interesting? So that is such a big misconception or misperception. And that just sums up exactly what the two of you ladies. So networking is all about just building relationships. So I like that story. That's kind of like, wow, that really makes sense, that I really hadn't thought of in that way before. Yeah, I've attended some BNI groups. They're really, really great. The way I like how their structure is too. Some networking groups are more structured, some aren't. You just have to find the one that works for you and like-minded people too.
I love that story and just the absolute importance of taking the time to rethink what you're doing, right? And I've not ever thought of it that way. How many times have I gone to an event saying I'm going to buy something? I have shifted and said I'm going to learn, or I'm just going to build relationships. I am not going to try to sell something, right? I am going to be of service and let what happens. And what I have noticed since I made a conscious choice to approach things that way is that opportunities chase me. Opportunities are just landing at my feet because I've taken a different approach. But
That's
I
the
like
law of
that.
attraction, Whitney.
I like that, actually going with the mindset. I'm going to go and see what I can buy. Right. Yeah.
I think I was just actually working with a group of new entrepreneurs, and they were working on value proposition statements. Right? What are the benefits of it is that you do? And it's really hard for someone to kind of pin down that in 2 to 3 sentences. We talk about that elevator pitch at 30, 60 seconds. Networking with a purpose, right? Networking with a purpose is one of the ways to look at it, because if you look at it as a game, right? Because people get really stressed out when you go to networking events. People get really stressed out because it's like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to people. And you might have some folks that are just not the ones that like to walk to a group of 3 or 4 and say, hi, my name is Cheryl, or someone that's just standing there alone because they came by themselves. And so just kind of standing there waiting for someone to come up and speak to them. So, I like to think about it as a game, right? This is a game. At the end of this game, I'm going to meet at least 4 or 5 people, and we're going to go out and have coffee another time, right? We're going to set up something. Hey, you know what? Let's get together after this, because then you can utilize, right? So here's what I do. Tell me about what you do. And you can really learn without getting so stressed out about attending networking events. I've talked to people that are just so stressed out that having to go to an event that all the way there, they're like, oh my gosh, I got to go to this event. Maybe your job sent you because they're a member. Like I do a lot of chamber events. And we know that's, your job sends you to these things and you're standing there going, oh my God. And so, or maybe it's you just want to go to a different type of event. But it's about, you're absolutely right. Whoever been there, networking is about building relationships. Yes. And to Jody's point, nobody comes to buy, but they do come to learn more. And so if that's the name of the game, right? How can you learn more? That's by setting up appointments so you can go have coffee on another day. But being able to look at it that way refrains from you stressing yourself out about having these forced conversations, because sometimes they can be forced conversations. And you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a little uneasy about this. Or you could be that person that's running around handing out business cards and people are like, who are you? Right? We've all had that individual that just goes around putting a business card in your hand. And, it's just one of those things that just really can be salesy, but it doesn't have to be. It can be fun. And so if you're going to a networking event, make it fun. Go there with a goal. I'm going to leave out and I'm going to meet 4 people and we're going to have coffee later in the week, something along those lines. And that could even be opening. Listen, I want to meet somebody and have coffee next week. Because probably do too. And so, just utilize it to have fun. And you'll find that you are less stressed. You're more yourself. When we say be your authentic self, you are more yourself. You're less in your head. And you're just there. You're just there enjoying the people. I've met so many amazing people. Some people we don't even do business with, but oh my gosh, we go to a jazz festival in the park because that was our commonality, was that. And so you never know, because it's all about creating an extension. And that's how I look at networking, is creating an extension of myself. Because if I share with you, then someone's speaking to you and something's, there's a buzzword. Oh my gosh, you got to talk to Cheryl. That's how it works. So I would say just have with networking and make it a game. That's my tip.
Awesome. Thank you. So as we are rolling up on our time together, I want to give each of you an opportunity to share a final thought. Cheryl.
We're all in this. It is interesting because we have an event coming up Wednesday and it's called The Climb. We are all in this in our business. We're in our lives to do just that, right? To climb to the next run on the ladder, to climb to that next branch on the tree. That is our purpose, is to get to the next thing. And a couple of ways for you to get there is by embracing a group of individuals that you can share, that will empower you, that will inspire you and motivate you, and to have a single individual that will push you, that will also motivate you. And then it is to actually enlarge your community. And so that's what this is about. It's about enlarging your community. It's about growing beyond that place that you exist today. And it's about doing it in a consistent manner so that you have that continuous success. Because we've talked about it before, success leaves clues. So you have the opportunity to leave clues that will always get you looking at the next level. And so I'm excited whenever we get to come and talk about this, because we talk forever on topics, because we have so much going on as individuals and collectively. So I wish you all an amazing 2022. Continue climbing, continue believing that you can speak it, and then go get it.
Great. Gabby.
Well said, Cheryl. So I agree with everything Cheryl said. Get together with people you trust, people with integrity. That's another point that people are missing out. Trust me, I have seen a lot of people who are leaders, but they have zero integrity. Be careful who you connect with. Get to know people. Create a mastermind with people that you trust, people you know you can learn from, people you know that you can help and be helped, and do it and keep networking. Give, like Whitney said, give, and then ask. Before you ask for you to sell something or for people to buy your product, first be of service and get connected with people before you try to sell them something, because that would put you not in a good spot. So that is what it is. And then ask for help. I think we have said this, many of us have said this so many times. Ask for help. If you need help, there is us, any one of us here is ready to help. There are a lot of good people out there to help. If you need guidance in any of these topics we talked about, please put it in the message here. We will get in touch with you or keep in touch with any of us here. And all the best. Stay blessed, and wishing you success and abundance. Thank you.
Miss Jody.
Hey, yeah. So Gabby said it's okay to ask for help. And we all go through things in our life. And sometimes we just can't figure it out on our own. And so we've talked about many ways, whether you reach out and find a mentor. We roll in corporate America, find a mentor, there's somebody who is exhibited something that you want to do, or there are organizations like SCORE, which Cheryl works with. And then, of course, we talked about networking. We talked about accountability partners, mastermind groups, and there's even coaches. And Cheryl mentioned success leaves clues. And if my memory serves me correctly, that comes from Tony Robbins, success leaves clues. And that means find somebody who has achieved what it is that you hope to achieve. Find somebody who's already done that, or find somebody who has overcome or triumphed over something that you might be facing. Just find somebody who's already done what it is that you want to do. And as Jack Canfield always says, find that person that'll help you get from where you are to where you want to go. And with that, I'll thank everybody for joining us, and we'll turn it over to Whitney.
Awesome. Thank you, you guys. As always, knocked it out of the park. I want to just say, leave you with this: the commonality between networking, the networking, accountability partners, masterminding, even the other modalities that Jody spoke of, coaching, mentoring, all of them has to do with relationships, right? The nature of the relationships differ. What you put in, what you take out changes a little bit, but the commonality is relationships. And if you will remember the Jim Rohn quote, right? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you think about that in the terms of who you are networking with, who you are masterminding with, who you have in your life as an accountability coach or accountability partner, you're the average of those people. So choose well, right? Make sure they're your people, that they are going to be people that you want in your life, that you want to draw from, and where it's appropriate, where you want to give back to. So with that, again, thank you for joining us. We are here, this Reset for Success, on the 4th Monday of every month. We're talking about different topics that are meant to help you, as Jody reminded you of, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. That's our whole goal, to help you succeed, help you to be successful. And whether you are watching this now live or you watch it in replay, again, thank you. And until next time, take care.